Hey everybody, I'm Katie.
I'm Becky, and this is Live, Laugh, Lorcana.
And I'm sick this week, so Becky, you're in charge.
Ah, yes. All my dreams are coming true. Finally.
Where do we start?
I have a lot of random thoughts. Do you have a lot of random thoughts? What do you have? Do you have an outline?
I have a lot of random thoughts as well.
Nice. I will start with a random thought. How's that?
Sounds great.
I hate handshakes. There, I said it. Please do not shake my hand.
Interesting. Why do you hate handshakes?
Many reasons. One, germs are gross. I like since the pandemic and honestly even before, please don't touch my hand. Like I have to wash it if you touch it. I'd rather not. Also, I have generally very sweaty hands and that makes me self-conscious and I don't like it. And third, I just don't give good handshakes. And
Do you give like the limp wrist handshake?
a dead fish. No, I don't give dead fish handshakes, but don't shake my hand. I don't want to do it. I don't know what proper pressure is, so I don't really think about it. I have no idea what my handshakes are like. I imagine they're not very good, and I don't want to shake your hand. We can fist bump if you insist on touching me.
All right, so I think this is going to be our most controversial take, because a lot of people think that the handshake or fist bump, and I do prefer a fist bump, is like a camaraderie thing, especially at the end of the game, being like, "Hey, good game." Fist bump.
I get that. I get why they do it. It's a very nice thought. I just hate it. Especially the handshakes. I'll accept a fist bump. I saw somebody on Twitter saying we should do like the Big Hero 6 fist bump, the ba la la la, which I thought was cute.
That was Jedi Geek Girl.
Oh, our queen.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
For sure, for sure.
What do you do when someone offers you a handshake? Do you shake their hand?
Of course I do. Oh, you know what I should do? The turkey. Do you know what the turkey is?
No idea.
It's I'm have my palm out and then my other hand is a fist. And when they do palm out and you do the fist against the palm and it makes a turkey. Do you see the turkey?
I see it. I'm gonna have to screenshot that for our audio listeners. We
Yeah.
don't have video, so
But I mean, I'll do whatever anybody wants me to do. It's just not my preference.
that's cool. I actually like a fist bump, like actively prefer a fist bump at the end. It's just like a nice closing to the game, but I think that's just because I'm used to it because pretty much everyone does it in Flesh and Blood.
As opposed to nothing, as opposed to just saying good game.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think I'm just trained for it.
And you are sick, so you clearly do be touching and breathing and stuff. So.
I am sick. I guess it was all the handshakes at League.
It probably was. Hope you're happy.
uh,
Did you want to talk about League this week? Did cool things happen that you want to discuss?
I did want to talk about League this week. Let me see what I wanted to talk about. Oh, I know. I said last week I was going to build a bad deck for League.
Yes.
I did not succeed in doing that. I set out to build a cheap deck, and I built a very cheap red and green deck that only had commons and uncommons. It turns out that deck was not bad. Because it's like there's a lot of good commons and uncommons in red and green. It's like you got
Oh, for sure.
Flynn Rider, Cheshire Cat, Jasper, Tinkerbell, Pongo, Mad Hatter, Goofy, Dragonfire. It's just too good.
It's OP. I love it. That's great. I'm happy to hear that. I mean, do better. Perhaps I can give you some tips. Because here's what I did. I took a not very good Amber Amethyst deck I had, and I divided it into two different decks. So now I'm running an Amber Sapphire Princess deck and a Amethyst Emerald Villains deck, and they are both worse than the original deck I made. But I mean, now I have two decks though.
I need your help. I need your help to build a bad deck.
Well, I have one bad deck when you have two worse decks, is kind of where I'm at.
Can I borrow one for the next league?
Sure, you can do princesses or villains. I think the princess one is worse.
Yeah, I'll take it. I would love to play that.
Great.
I also said in the last episode that I was going to start by asking people how good their deck was, so I knew.
Oh, yeah.
So the idea was like if they had a really good deck they were confident in, I would use my expensive deck. And if they had like kind of a worse deck they didn't seem super confident about, I could use my cheap deck. That does not work. Don't do that. It makes people super uncomfortable. Like they have no idea how to respond to it. So I tried it twice and like they were so confused by the question. I'm like, okay, I'm not doing that again. So I like my third game, I was like trying to fish for it. It's like, hey, how long have you been playing? Like, how much product have you been able to get? And it's like, still, I couldn't get to an answer in the correct amount of time. You just kind of have to commit to a deck, I guess.
That makes sense. I was like, can you ask what they're running though? Because if they're like, I'm running Ruby Amethyst Control, you'd be like, yeah, I figured you would be.
So you can't, unfortunately, because that's like information. So then it kind of seems like I'm fishing for information because that will potentially impact my mulligan. If I know they're running Ruby Amethyst Control, I'm probably going to mulligan differently.
Oh, that makes sense. Sneaky, sneaky. See, I was thinking I'd go in and be like, do you want to play my princess deck or my villains deck?
They're both terrible.
They're both awful. Your choice.
There was only one other thing I wanted to say about League, which is that Ruby Amethyst Control is spreading like a virus, and more people are coming in with that deck.
Why? Yeah.
I don't know. And it's actually really sad because I saw this all the time with Flesh and Blood, and I feel like I'm starting to see it with Lorcana, where a very new player will come in and get their butt kicked by a Ruby Amethyst Control deck. So then they'll go home and they'll shell out $400 for a Ruby Amethyst Control deck, because that's what it costs, about $400. And then they come back to League and then they get their butt kicked still because they don't know how to pilot the deck correctly.
Interesting. I could see that being my problem.
And then it's like you get more frustrated because now you're $400 in the hole and still going 0-3 at League. So it's just like not great. And I wouldn't say it's like super hard to run Ruby Amethyst Control, but that deck has a game plan and you need to know how to execute it. It doesn't run itself.
That makes sense. I heard somebody from our league say that half the people were playing that deck. Is that an exaggeration?
I think it's an exaggeration, but I also didn't count. Now I kind of want to count.
Well, I don't like it. I don't like that everyone's doing the same thing. It's stupid.
Yeah, definitely. If you're getting beat by Ruby Amethyst Control, like just do some research. Like maybe get on YouTube. There are content creators making budget deck videos. Like find one that's really fast, because like the Ruby Amethyst Control deck is slow. If you can find a deck that's really fast, I bet you can beat it, and I bet you can do it for cheaper than $400.
Ooh, hot tips. Look at us. We're well, not me. You are a, meta-analysis person now. Look at you.
Not at all. I just know that the answer is never to spend $400. I do know that.
Thrifty bits.
Especially when Chapter 2 comes out. Like, Chapter 2 might come out and Ruby Amethyst, like, sucks. And then you're like, oh, great. I'm glad I spent $400 on Ruby Amethyst Control.
Oh, also because I feel like, because right now we can agree that prices for cards are, like, probably the highest they're going to be, or close to.
Correct.
And so it feels like a bad time to be investing in a deck when this is the first series that came out. Maybe is that, I don't know. It seems like a lot of money to put down right now.
Yeah, totally agree. That's really all I had to say about League. It was definitely a good time. We missed you.
Oh, well, I didn't go because I was going to go to League today, but now I'm not going to League today.
Yeah, we were all supposed to be at League today, a different league to tell you about, but then I got sick.
And nobody can watch my kids today.
So rude. I don't know what the point of grandparents even is.
What? Come on. Dip, 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 dip. Is there something else that you have that you want to jump into?
I'll just say, address the feedback we received from last episode. We did receive a little bit of feedback, a couple comments that made me think that some people listened to this episode and thought that we were all saying you shouldn't do competitive events for Lorcana. And that was not what we were saying. I don't think that's not what we believe. That's not what Ryan believes. We really just kind of believe that casual and competitive should be separate. We think Lorcana League should be casual. And to be perfectly honest, I've been in the TCG space a little while. I think most stores know how to put on a competitive event. I've seen so many stores put on good competitive events. I have seen very few stores that know how to cater to the casual player, and even fewer that know how to cater to the minority gender player. And that is the focus of our podcast. That is what we were talking about and focusing on and asked Ryan to talk about. So that's what we focused on. We love competitive play. We want to see it for Lorcana. We want to see it grow for Lorcana.
Beautifully said. I'm just fangirling over you today. You're saying such
Oh my God,
things.
stop it. This is like my Sudafed fever dream. You're all a part of it.
We're all along for the ride, and I love it. I feel bad when we talk about these kind of things because I literally have no frame of reference. I have nothing to input, but it's important that things get said. And so you are the voice of that for us.
I think I am a middle ground between remembering what it was like to be a new player, which is where you are, and also kind of having a foot in the competitive.
Well, also, I feel like I'm spoiled for sure. I have only had league experiences that have been perfectly catered to what I'm interested in. The social, casual, just hanging out, playing games, blah, 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 which I thought was interesting. You mentioned that it was suggested in our league to divide us up and offer both competitive and casual play.
Yeah, that is true. Ryan actually mentioned that because he put out a feedback form asking people for suggestions, and apparently some people suggested that they split it into two, a more casual league and a more competitive league. And his perception was that it was actually the more competitive players that were asking for that. It wasn't like casual players who were like, I'm tired of getting beat by Ruby Amethyst Control. Can you split us up? It was more like competitive players wanting more competitive opponents.
That's interesting. I have very, quick thoughts on that, but do you want to talk about your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are I see why people would want that because, like I said, it's so hard to know what deck to bring to this environment where you have both. It's hard because I love competitive play and I like playing really good decks and having really interesting games, but I also just love to play games and hang out with people. So in this environment, I would probably choose the casual because for me, this is what that league is. It's about bringing in new people. It's about hoping we can find new people to get excited about this game. And I'm happy to find an alternative night to do a competitive event. I'm just also really excited that we have this really great casual scene that every week is bringing in new people, that every week is bringing in women, which is wild.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, for sure. Honestly though, if people, I don't know, if somebody's playing me and they are disappointed in what sort of challenge that I'm providing or the experience that I'm giving them, I'm kind of whatever. I don't know. Am I supposed to feel bad about it?
You are absolutely not supposed to feel bad. No.
Okay. Can we talk about what is casual? What is casual gameplay? I feel like a lot of people have different opinions of what that could be. And some people are like, oh yeah, I want to play casual. But then they're focusing on, the tournament etiquette, these kind of things. And I don't know if those things are compatible. And I feel like that might be a little gatekeepy. What do you think?
That is a great point because we definitely have seen a lot of people, like self-declared casual players, who do the kind of gatekeeping and be like, this is how you need to act in a TCG environment. You need to present your deck to cut, all of these things. I think Tooney described it as tournament light, which I thought was a very astute way to describe it. Some people view casual as tournament light. But you're the one who posed this question, and I think as a new player, you are most posed to answer it. What would you define as a casual experience?
So this might sound really stupid. So it's pointed out to me that I'm very naive about this whole thing. Like, I have my rose tinted glasses on and I'm just like wandering into Lorcana being like, this is magical. Everything here is beautiful. This is a fresh start. We're all just going to be sunshine and rainbows and have such a good time just playing with our little guys. And instead of like seeing it from a TCG lens, you know what I mean? So like, my thing is, I just want like family game night vibes. Like, I just want to go in, hang out with people, play our games, have fun. We're not trying to beat the clock on anything. We're not trying to race. We're not trying to, do all this stuff. We're just like playing around, having a good time, and like talking and that kind of thing, which I feel like is like not the TCG vibe.
I think what you're describing is the ideal new player, casual player, woman who's already uncomfortable going into a TCG shop. That's what they need to feel comfortable starting out. And that's why we really wanted to call out this league, because it's kind of doing that. Like, don't you think?
Oh, for sure. For sure. I love the vibes from our league. So good. It's exactly what I want. And that's why I think it'll be really interesting when I go somewhere else, because it's like seeing what it would be. You can totally cut this. I'm just curious. This is me talking to you, and we can see if we want an audience. But we've talked a lot about wanting women and minority genders to feel comfortable in these spaces. And I think there is like a decent group of perhaps male players that are interested in that and want that to be part of their space. But I feel like the vast majority don't care or think that maybe somebody like me who's like a casual player is wasting their time. What do you think?
First, I think there's no question that there are competitive players in general who think casual players waste their time. I think that is a big concern with like things like Pixelborn, because a lot of competitive players will choose to stay home and grind Pixelborn for hours and hours and hours instead of doing anything to build their local community. That is very common, and it's not unique to Lorcana. The other question you asked is so much harder, because I don't know how men feel about the fact that their game is overwhelmingly male. Like, I don't know. This is the other wild thing, because when we started this podcast, we very much were doing it for the new casual player, for the gender minority player. Our listener base is overwhelmingly competitive white males.
Yeah, for sure.
So what do you guys think? Like, please tell us.
Honestly, yeah. Well, and that's like, even like, we try to prioritize minority genders in our featured creator, and it's hard finding creators that aren't cishet white men,
Absolutely.
Getting a little real, I feel so insecure about me being in this space. Like, recently, just like reading, the more content I consume online about, the playing and the things like that, I just feel like I like don't belong. Like, there's not like a space for me, really. And even if or like nobody wants me in their space. And I'm probably just projecting my own insecurities, but like, do you know what I mean?
That's literally why we're here right now, is because that's how I felt for an entire year in a TCG space. And I really just want like other people who feel that way to be able to listen to our podcast and like know they're not alone and know that we're supporting them virtually. That is Like, have felt that way for so long, and that's why you're here with me right now, and I'm making you do this.
You went through it, so now I have to.
Exactly. And you have to tell other people what you're going through so they can feel better about going through the same thing.
Yeah. I'm a filthy casual. Like I'm just gonna own it. Like I don't care about competitive stuff. Like totally support anybody who is competitive and wants to do all the things and like win the money and win the fame and fortune and whatever else comes with excessive TCG enthusiasm. But like I really enjoy talking about the other aspects of Lorcana, I think more. Like when the new cards come out, like that's really cool. I like talking about the art. I like talking about, I like theoretical strategy, maybe because I don't have cards, but like talking about what works together kind of thing more than like having to see it play out and me being successful with it, if that makes sense.
It totally makes sense. Like, this is exciting. Like, I feel like that's what TCGs are, getting excited about those kind of things. So it's awesome you feel that way. I always thought I would always only be a casual player, and I think it's great. People who stay casual, wonderful. Love it. I think that's going to be most of the space for Lorcana. For me, being a woman in a male dominated space, I always just get this like physical pull to like prove myself and be like, I deserve to be here. So I'll be like, oh yeah, I want to go to league and have fun and it's super casual. And then I play a really intense magic guy who like you can tell thinks I'm an idiot. Like, you know what I mean? Like they just like feel immediately like they have to start explaining things to me. And I'm like, oh
Oh,
no,
getting mansplained. Oh,
this is not my first game. And now I want to defeat you more than anything else in the world. So it's like that's where I got to a point in Flesh and Blood where I'm just like I was trying so hard and spending so much time on it because I wanted to be performing well against men who I felt were talking down to me.
I'm going to be honest, Katie. You kind of have spent most of all of your adult life being that little squeaky wheel lady maneuvering yourself into male dominated spaces. I mean, all through college, grad school, your career, TCGs, you're always just squeezing yourself in there, making a space for yourself. And I'm so proud of you all the time for doing those things. But as you were saying about, you doing the wanting to beat that sort of thing. And yet at the end of the day, Katie, if you're not beating them, you're what? Just the wife.
Right. That's what we talked about last week. Yes, as you already like alluded to, I am a software engineer. That is my day job. So, technology, like I've always been a gender minority in my career, in my schooling. I do just kind of want to say, while I agree with everything you're saying, I have had a lot of men be super, super nice to me in the TCG space and really welcome me and go out of their way to include me. And that means so much. So, like, I feel like the people would know who they are, but there are definitely men in Flesh and Blood who really went out of their way to make me feel welcome and were very nice to me even before I started winning. Once I started winning, I felt like everyone was nice to me, which is kind of like a weird thing. But I think if you keep going into a male dominated space and you do the thing week after week, like slowly the men start to see that like you're a part of it and they're not going to treat you as differently.
Yeah. Yeah, you're part of it. Well, that's like visibility is just so important in these kind of things. Just like being there and being like, yes, I am part of this. I've been here however long and this is my thing. And I'm here with you guys standing next to you all the time. And I think that's huge. And especially, again, why we try to feature minority gender content creators is just like, it's so important that other minority genders see people like themselves in the space being like, yes, I belong here too. And that's why I feel like I'm such a big old imposter because I'm just like, I don't feel comfortable. You know what I mean? But I think it's important that we all get there. And also allyship is huge. Like you were saying, having, a men and supporting and encouraging. And I think that's huge. And I think that comes back to my question of like, do they care at all? Like, I know a ton of men do, and that's really special. And very proud of them, you know, providing that encouragement, supporting these creators, like the guys who support us. We love you. We love you guys. You're great. Like, if you're listening to us, you're probably at least somewhat agreeing on what we feel and think that we deserve to have. Like women and minority genders deserve to have some sort of space in the TCG community. And that's very important and special to us.
Well said.
Thank you for being a friend. More Golden Girls references every time. And I don't even watch that show. Like, I've watched it all once.
I need to watch it. This podcast isn't inspiring me to watch Golden Girls.
It's quite progressive for its time period.
All right, on to other stuff.
Yeah.
You know what we should also address from the episode last week? We were not excited enough about the Disney 100 collection.
Yeah, we were so remiss.
We're just like, oh, $50. Gross.
I honestly barely looked at it until I was told more about it. And then I got really excited.
By who?
Well, I mean, we were asked to be co-hosts on the Illuminateers live stream. And Katie pitched them some ideas for things to talk about. And one of them was the Disney 100 collection. Because those guys, they know their art. They know how to find people who know about the art. They have all the good connections. And so I did more research. And you know what, Katie? I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's awesome. There are some really amazing animators doing those alt arts. Jonty did a short video on it. And then the Illuminateers live stream really does a deep dive on some of those artists. So we can link to both of them in our show notes. Watch the live stream if you want to see me super uncomfortable for an hour. So stressed.
We're not very good at being. I was quiet a lot. And then when I did talk, I was just gushing and saying things were great over and over again and used my hands too much. That's how we roll. I think we will improve with practice, though. Talking live, that's not our thing. Like I always say, we are best heavily edited.
Mm-hmm. We're also a lot more chill when it's just the two of us.
Yeah, we're very relaxed here in the studio.
Exactly.
I am not afraid to, admit I'm wrong. And I do often. And on this podcast, I have done it a lot. I don't get excited about things. And then eventually I do get excited about them. And the D100 is one of them. Also, the Winnie the Pooh playmat, another one of them.
Yeah, those are the big two we'll always remember. But D100, amazing artists. Once you learn about the artists who are doing those, like, I don't know how you wouldn't be out looking for this.
I was like, I don't want it. I'll just look at yours. And now I'm like, I think I need at least two.
That's what Josh is like. We need one unopened and then one.
Yeah, I want one unopened and another one to open and touch and look at and play with.
It's 4 packs. I'm not going to leave it unopened. I don't think I can do that.
I don't know. I kind of want to keep it unopened. We'll see. There'll be an enchanted in there and I'll never know.
Exactly. Like, I don't think I can live with that.
We'll see. We'll see how they're packaged, I guess.
You got your enchanted from a gift set.
I sure did. So they're in there. We'll see what happens.
Did you want to talk about any of the new cards? We got 6 spoiled cards between now and the last episode. Did you have anything you were excited about? We had, just as a reminder, we had I'm Stuck spoiled. We had Flynn Rider, Confident Vagabond. I have a cold, okay? I can't speak. Bounce, 2 versions of Cogsworth, and the Prince spoiled. Do you have any thoughts about any of those?
Quick quiz, who's the prince?
Obviously, the prince from Snow White.
Very good. He has no name. He doesn't need one. I wonder if they ever gave him one. Let me check.
I just remember that because, like, Snow White is the first Disney animated feature. I think most people know that. So it makes sense that the prince in that movie wouldn't need a name because it's just the prince.
That's fair. I think he's fine. I like him in armor. I think that's nice. I think the Flynn Riders, It's cute. I like somebody pointed out online that it looks like you can see in his wanted posters that there's a picture of his other card, and then there's a third card on there that might be, or like a third image on there that might be another card potentially. So I thought that was cool.
Love that detail. The I'm stuck and bounce art, that like this 100 Acre Woods art is just so beautiful. I love it.
Very, very cute. Very, very cute.
And then like Cogsworth just seems busted.
Cogs. What is the grandfather clock one?
Yeah, Cogsworth grandfather clock.
Is that the one you say is busted?
I don't know if it's busted, but it's like really, really good because it has wards, so you can't target it with like.
Oh, and another resist. Come on now.
It gives all your other characters resist +1. So if you have this on the board and like somebody puts out that big Tinkerbell that does 1 damage to everything.
Does nothing.
Yeah, except to him. And then like also like grab your sword, which does 2 damage to everything, is like now that's worse. Like a lot of potential to this card. Like a lot of potential.
It's great. And I'm a big Cogsworth fan. So that's nice. Very cool.
We're so excited for chapter 2.
Yes.
We got some big news about SCG Con Pittsburgh.
What about it?
So do you know what SCG stands for?
Star Car Games. I don't know.
Nailed it. No, Star City Games.
That's close.
It's one of the biggest tournament organizers in the United States. They do a lot of events for Magic and Flesh and Blood, and they just announced that SCG Con Pittsburgh, November 10th through 12th, is going to have 2 Lorcana tournaments on both Saturday and Sunday. They are going to be core constructed 1Ks, so $1,000 worth of prizes.
Fabulous. I'm very excited for this. I'm excited that it's in our hometown. So you could probably see us there if you're going.
Yes, absolutely. Everyone should come selfishly because we want to see all of our Lorcana friends in person, but also to like show SCG that there's like support behind this game and that they should keep putting events on for us.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I've also, do you have more to say about this? Because I would like to make it all about me.
I have nothing more to say about it.
Great, because I'm going to cosplay and I'm very excited.
Are you gonna tell us what you're gonna cosplay as? No, you should like really milk it. Like start dropping clues.
I think nobody cares what I'm actually going to be. I'm actually not as excited about my cosplay as I am for the cosplay that I'm making for my husband. I'm making him a Detective Mickey Mouse. And I mean, it's going to be more of like a closet cosplay because it's just men's tailoring is a pain in the butt. It's much easier to just buy pieces, but I'm going to make like the stupid hat and like all the stuff. And it's going to be so cool and so cute. And I'm so excited about it.
You love the stupid hat.
I love that stupid hat. And I've like got ideas. Well, I already have the light bulb figured out. It's going to glow. It's going to be really cool. And then I'm trying to figure out how to make that little thing, the hook hand, making it lightweight and stuff. I have ideas though, but I think it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, so come to SCG Con Pittsburgh to see Becky's artwork in motion.
No, do not say that. Cut that completely.
I edit. I have all the power.
Ugh. But I'd like to. Are we allowed to make shirts for ourselves to wear with our podcast on them?
I don't know, but I'm going to.
Great. Can we also get stickers made that we can give to people?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we have another thing we need to talk about, which is that we taught our childhood best friend, Brittany, how to play Lorcana.
Yes. And she loved it.
She liked it just fine. But yeah, we
rave review.
We had a game night with her and her husband, and we taught them both how to play Lorcana. How do you think that went, Becky?
It was fine.
That's it? That's all I get?
I don't know. Okay. But I just didn't think that Brittany was particularly into it, and I doubt she'll play.
Wow, we'll have to see if that's true. I think she at least semi-liked it, and we continued to play after you left, and I was going to tell you about what happened after you left. because you left early. Okay, so after you left, we decided to play a little 1v1v1v1.
You're not saying it correctly. It's
What?
1v1v1v1. You have to do a pause before the last one.
Okay, well, that's my bad.
Try it again.
All right, we played some 1v1v1v1. No.
Perfect. Print.
I got the okay. So what happened, and we were all playing on starter decks to even the playing field. So Brittany with her Ambi deck took a very early lead by building a lot of characters, with her card draw. So, Josh is like, okay, Brittany's gonna win next turn, so we really need to take care of this, this, and this. And I'm like, okay, I got it. So we get to my turn, and I just start attacking Matt and Josh to clear their board so they can't take care of Brittany's board as effectively, and Brittany ends up winning in 2 turns.
Beautiful.
So she was actually pretty excited, and that was really fun. But the boys were tilted. So they were like, well, why don't we just play 2v2 then, since Katie's going to treat it like 2v2 anyway?
Yeah.
So we played 2v2. And I don't know if there are official rules for I'm pretty sure there aren't official rules for 2v2. The way we played it is we played for a combined total of 30. We took our turns at the same time, and we did things like, your body cards protect like both of your characters, and like I could sing, my characters could sing Britney's songs, like things like that. So I don't know if that's how it'll actually happen, but that's how we played it, and it was so much fun.
Oh, that's cool. I love it. We should try that sometime. You save all your good stuff for after I leave. It's fine.
Well, I'm dying to play 2v2 with you guys. It's just tough because usually one of you is watching children. Maybe if we go to Lorcana League, especially if that one does free play, we can try some 2v2.
Beautiful. Thank you. Well, that sounds great. It sounds like a lot of fun. I'm glad you guys had a lot of fun. It sounds awesome.
Yeah. Also, if people have tried 2v2, I'm super interested in what rules you used, because we made it up as we went along.
I love that. That's great.
All right. So let's go into listener questions. We have a couple listener questions this week.
Okay.
We love answering listener questions, so keep throwing these our way if you got them.
Ask us anything.
All right. Our first question is from Xification. I'd be curious to hear both of y'all's opinions on alternative arts like the enchanted cards, especially from the perspective of someone who is just getting into TCGs. That's you.
I was going to say that's me.
Do you have an opinion?
Absolutely love it. I love it. I think it's really fun. I think it's something extra cool that people can get their hands on. And I like that they are alternative art. They're just not like super duper hyper ultra whatevers. So you can still get like the card basic version of it, pretty easily. And I just think it's cool and fun to collect. I do like to collect things. So I think it's really fun. And also in a similar but entirely different vein, we saw that people are doing like extended arts of the cards, which I've seen a ton of in Pokemon, and I always think they're really delightful. And I think that's a lot of fun and a cool thing to do. And I would probably collect those as well, just to have them as art because it's neat.
Yeah, I am not new to TCGs, but I also love alternative arts. I think they are really actually good for the game because it's like a chase thing that collectors want. So it gives people a reason to open packs because there's basically a chance that they'll hit the lottery and get this really expensive card. So people are opening more product, cards more readily available. Not that people don't want to open product already in this game, but still.
Yeah. No, I think it's really fun. I like it a lot.
Yeah, and because they're alt arts, you never need them for a deck.
I appreciate that part of it. And I guess like all games do this.
I'm never going to say all games, but a lot of other games do it.
Cool.
I will say, as someone who is married to my husband, I hate them because he has informed me that he wants all 12, and I like food.
He offered to buy my Maui. And he lowballed me, Katie. He lowballed me. Like, what is this? Pawn Stars? Get out of here. I know my market value. Don't you dare. And also, the answer is no.
Fair? Fair?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. This second question is from Tooniefish, who asks why your favorite ink color is what it is. Is it vibes? Is it actual gameplay? Is it both or something else? Like, I like emerald because they are a little tricksy without being overly aggressive, but also very superficially because green is my favorite color.
Totally valid. See, I know your favorite color is purple, but I'm pretty confident amethyst is not your favorite ink.
It's not, no.
Tell me.
My favorite is amber, and for me, it is kind of just vibes. I like that kind of support color. I like that it fits into a bunch of decks. I like being able to start with that one drop Lilo, that quest for 2 lore, and then playing the Simba bodyguard next. Like, that's disgusting. So that's fun. What about you?
I also really like Amber. I think they have a lot of really fun, nice cards in there, and it is part of my princess deck, which is nice. So can we talk art wise though? I think Sapphire is my favorite there. I just really love the art. I love like the kind of steampunk vibes that it goes for. I love that particular color blue is really lovely. I just really like those cards a lot. And I love resource hoarding. That's like my thing. So I love all that ink. Give me all that ink. Give it all to me. I love it. But also I have to say, I also really like amethyst. There's like some really fun little things to do in there. A lot of card draw. I do love, again, I love resources. Give me all of them, but that's it.
Yeah, so there's a lot of good reasons you threw in there. It could be because of art, it could be because of gameplay. I imagine everyone who has a favorite ink color has a different reason for why.
Fair.
But I go off vibes, so.
Yeah, I do like vibes. That's like, it's funny because like, I know Ruby, again, huge, very popular color. Has some really great cards in there, and I just don't feel it. Like it doesn't connect with me at all, and I don't know why. I mean, like I'm sure I'd run it or whatever, but I don't know. It's just not my favorite.
I get that. All right, and then our third listener question is from Jedi Geek Girl of I Rebel Gaming. Which film is your favorite live action adaptation of a Disney animated canon film, and why?
You answer first because my answer is long.
All right. So, to be totally honest, I have not seen all of them. Of the ones that I've seen, it's going to be Aladdin because I think that was a really good movie. And they have that like new song, Speechless, which I think is very, very good. I will say I've been listening to the soundtrack to the new Little Mermaid, and the soundtrack's amazing. So, I'm like really excited to see the movie.
Aladdin is a great answer. I love the Prince Ali segment. It's just everything you could have wanted it to be. It's so bombastic and gorgeous, and the costuming, everything in there is just beautiful. So good answer there. I've seen a decent amount of them. I have not seen all of them. And that is because I generally don't like them in general. Just talking generally. The live actions, I don't think they bring anything particularly necessary to the remakes. And I feel like a lot of the earlier ones, at least, were very much like not a frame for frame adaptation, but like so close to the original. It's like, I don't understand what you're doing here. I don't think anybody needed this. They're branching out with it a lot. And actually, because of this question, I watched The Little Mermaid live action yesterday.
Oh my gosh, how was it?
It's my favorite. And can I keep talking? Because I have a lot of thoughts.
Go for it, please.
Okay, so I have the hottest take you've ever heard right here. So controversial, so brave for me to say this. But The Little Mermaid animated feature in 1989, the music's incredible. Ursula's a fantastic character. That is literally all that is good. Every character in that movie is so obnoxious and everyone's wrong. There's nobody right in that movie. And I don't like The Little Mermaid. Loved the live action. The casting's incredible. They because the 1989 animated feature is only an hour and a half, and the live action is 2 hours and 20 minutes. And they've just added so much depth to the characters, and Eric has a real backstory and all this stuff. And I just thought it was incredibly well done. And they've added some different music and stuff, and it's wonderful. And it's got more of a Caribbean kind of feel. And I think it's beautifully done. Love it. It enhanced the original 100%.
Oh my gosh, I'm about to text Josh and tell him tomorrow's movie night, and I know what our feature is going to be.
Do it. I thought it was really excellent. And I know a lot of people had a lot of criticisms about various aspects of it, but I thought it was great.
I'm excited.
Good. I do the one positive thing I can say about Disney live action movies is they do provide sort of a fresh opportunity for Disney to remove some more problematic aspects of previous things, and a lot of criticisms that modern criticisms we have of past Disney movies. It gives them an opportunity to kind of go for a more modern approach, and I do appreciate that as well. And now let's talk about our featured creator. Not done. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, that one actually came through. Sometimes they don't. The sound effects. that mic doesn't always like your sound effects.
That's so unfortunate.
Our featured creator this week is I Rebel Gaming, which is a channel that has gaming and other nerd content by Jedi Geek Girl. The name I Rebel Gaming is actually part of a recent rebrand, as Jedi Geek Girl used to focus primarily on Star Wars Unlimited content, but now she's branching out into more games, including Lorcana. She just posted a Lorcana deck tech, and if her Star Wars Unlimited podcast is any indication, we are in for really great things with this YouTube channel. And on a personal note, we love Jedi Geek Girl.
Yes, she is a member of our Discord, and we love her.
Mm-hmm. And she has the best ideas for a Lorcana convention that you can ever imagine. Someone hire her, please.
Oh, I actually wanted to talk about those, but I guess we can talk about it another time.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a long episode.
Yeah. But she's super great, super nice, super funny, and she is a girl who appreciates an Oreo Blizzard, and don't we all?
Truth. Also, I was looking her up on Instagram before we recorded this to see if she had, the Instagram handles. And Jedi Geek Girl on Instagram, literally the entire page is cats. So if you didn't already love her.
Yay! So you can check out I Rebel Gaming on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. And you can also find her at Jedi Geek Girl on Twitter and Instagram. Okay. I think we have to be done, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We do.
Okay.
Do you want to tell people where to find us? You're getting good at it.
Well, that's the end of our podcast, folks. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter. You can also find us on YouTube doing this, but on YouTube. And be sure to follow us wherever you get your podcasts. We also have a Discord. Until next time, remember to live, laugh, and more.